Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brett. We've got the next release from Wizkids Dice Masters game. This is Marvel Dice Masters Deadpool. Of course, it's got Deadpool as the main character. What a shock based off of the name. Dice Masters is a really popular game. It's kind of a collectible card game meets deck building game where you go and you take cards and characters like this with their dice and you go and you build a team and go battle it out with your opponents. So now what's really cool is they got tons of properties. Marvel, DC, Dungeons & Dragons, TMNT, Yu-Gi-Oh! And you can mix them all up. So you can have Marvel characters working with DC characters, fighting Dungeons & Dragons, monsters and dragons, and the Turtles and Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters. So tons of sets already out. The next set, as I said, is Marvel Dice Masters Deadpool. It's out this November. Wizkids has hooked us up with a bunch of the foil packs like this. This is another set that comes with just foil packs. There's no starter. There's no collector box. It's just these, which retail for about 99 cents. And they've hooked us up with 10 of them. Each pack has 2 cards, and each of those cards comes with a corresponding die. So we're going to open this up. We're going to show off what we see inside. So this is the first one, is a Satchel of Unlimited Weaponry. Pay 1 life when you use an action die from your reserve pool that targets 1 or more character dice. Satchel of Unlimited Weaponry may immediately be used as a copy of that die with new targets. If you roll a star or double stars, instead you may pay 0 life. So it allows you to basically copy action dice. Action dice is a really, really big game, part of the game, so that can be a very useful die and card to use for 3. Now 2, we got a new X-Men Storm, who's been in the set a few times already. When fielded, spin target question energy in an opponent's reserve pool to a lightning bolt energy face, so if you are able to do that. As a whole, 021, 031, 133 for a 2-cost die. It's pretty solid. It actually can be a pretty useful thing, especially if you're using bolt energy in the game. A lot of people are keeping energy in the reserve pool now, so we're seeing more cards to actually manipulate that aspect of the game. So let's go and crack open the next one. So that's 1 pack. So far, nothing rare or super rare. We've got Blind Al, popular Deadpool character. When Blind Al is dealt combat damage, deal 1 damage to target opponent with a 3-cost mask. We've seen this one online already. 012, 014, 125. That's actually pretty solid for stats of the character with a 125. I can definitely see this being added to decks where you go and purposely damage Blind Al yourself, and then you would be able to deal damage to your opponent. This Shikla, Monster Metropolis, back for more. Spin target Deadpool character die you control up 1 level. 3 costs with a 012, 013, and 124. That is a die. So we're probably going to see a whole bunch of really interesting Deadpool team abilities that we're all going to work together. This one, of course, really simple, of just being able to spin up a character die. I can see it becoming a regular thing in the Deadpool teams. That is a fairly helpful ability. All right, next we've got, 2 more. Also not a no rares or super rares. So we got Angel Dust with their purple die. 122, 144, 377 for a 5 cost. And a Hydra. That's pretty expensive to field with the 3 and jumping from 1 to 3 in the second and third. When Angel Dust blocks or is blocked, she gets plus X A and plus XD, where X is equal to the combined total level of all the character dice she's engaged with. Really an interesting character. I can see this one becoming huge in the fact that you can now use it to soak up character behemoths like Hulk. So this might actually become a very big defensive die in the game. It's a little expensive to field, but, you know, always still interesting. We got Colossus, former Juggernaut. When fielded, deal 2 damage to all level 1 character dice. Interesting card, 155, 166, 277, 7-cost Fist. Being able to do some damage to a lot of dice is always a good thing. With the cost of 7 is a little pricey, so I don't see that one necessarily being jumped on a whole lot by folks, but you never know. People get really creative. All right, we got our first rare card, but first we got free chimichangas, because they're delicious. Impulse. Target character die gets plus 2D until end of turn. Impulse abilities happen when you purchase the character die with Impulse. Target die gets plus 2D. And it's just basically an action card when you get that. So target character die gets plus 2D, and then target character gets plus 2D with Impulse. So you get that when it gets purchased. Interesting card with the defensive if you are doing a team that needs a lot of defense. That makes a lot of sense. We got Agent X, Earth 2 counterpart. This is a rare card. When fielded, you may pay 2 life to draw a die. If that die is a sidekick, place it in the used pile. Otherwise, place it in the prep area. 152, 154, 265. Be able to get a card out really easily like that is pretty huge. I can see this one becoming a popular card in the game because of that. So to be able to draw a die and put it in your prep area, that is a very helpful ability in the game. Alright, so far we haven't gotten any foils. This set does have foils, and we just have the one rare. So Flying Car, buckle up. Target character die you control gets plus 3 attack, plus 3 defense, and loses all character abilities. Global abilities are not character abilities. I can actually see this being used to screw with your opponents and getting rid of their character abilities. Whether or not you'll be able to is a whole other question, but I can see it being used that way. We've got MODOK. I believe this is his debut. When MODOK attacks, you may spin MODOK to the same level as target opposing character die and spin that opposing die to MODOK's original level. Really cool with the 014, 116, 128 with a 5 cost. So a little bit expensive, but that's actually a pretty cool ability to screw with your opponents and their character die. Alright, next up we've got Storm again. This one's Thunderclap, which is a duplicate of the previous Storm die. So that's kind of a bummer. But again, you know, this is a game where you want maybe 4 of each dice, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. We got Lady Bullseye. This is Speed, Grace, Precision. When fielded, target opposing character die must block this turn. It is 031, 141, 151. Hydra affiliation, so the villain affiliation. Really cool art, 4 costs. I can see it being somewhat useful, but this is one that, as a rare, I maybe wish it did a little bit more. But you never know. I'd really have to look through how I would use that card, and clearly right now it's just not jumping out at me. Alright, we got our first Inhuman. We have another X-Men. This is Negasonic, Teenage Warhead. When Negasonic Teenage Warhead is active, when your opponent targets one of your character dice with a global ability, spin each of your Negasonic Teenage Warhead character dice to field zone 3. So level 3, so be able to spin up characters, which is super helpful in this game. We have our first Inhuman, Lockjaw. I love myself some Lockjaw, and we'll make sure you can see Negasonic there. So Lockjaw's Inhuman. As I said, Inhumans are making their debut in this game. This is Transport the Royals. When Lockjaw is blocked, you may pay 1. If you do, remove Lockjaw from the attack zone. So you'll be able to get in there and get out and possibly save your character in dice. Alright, we've got just 2 more, well, 2 more packs after this. It's pretty cool. We got a rare. Rare is, this one has been shown off. It's a Shield character, but first, before we get to her, we're going to go with another girl. We got Scarlet Witch. Scarlet, why not just red? When fielded, you may move target Fist character die from your opponent's prep area to their bag. At a 3 cost, that can be really, really helpful. 013, 033, 155. You know, this game has really turned into a defensive game to try to stop some of the meta teams out there. So anything to screw with your opponents are super helpful. Alright, this is a rare. They've showed this one up. We got Agent Carter making her debut to the set. Shield set. 2 Fist. When Agent Carter is active, sidekick character dice costs 1 more to field. That's huge. To be able to up cost the fielding anything is a big deal in this game, especially sidekick dice, which have become very, very important for so many. And we actually have a first foil out of our 10. But before we get to that foil, we've got the Stepford Cuckoos with Mindy. When fielded, move target character die you control to your prep area. 012, 013, 124 with a 2 cost. So when fielded, you move target character die you control to your prep area. That can become actually useful in some ways. So you can get them out of the attack zone and do some cool things and combos, and having to refield characters is possibly a way to get a character out again to field them twice and get a little bonus. We got our first foil card. This one's Evil Deadpool. Bang, bang, bang. When fielded, deal 2 damage to target opposing level 1 character die or target opposing Deadpool character die. So a way to screw with your opponents who are running a Deadpool team. Well, one, the art I think is fantastic on this. Really, really cool. I love the foil. Huge fan of the foils in this set. I think they just look top-notch, or the foils in general. They debuted in the Green Arrow Flash, which was less. This is a 4 Bolt and a Hydra affiliation, which is kind of interesting. And finally, we've got our last pack, and we have another foil. Colossus, Rigid Morals, back for more, deal 1 damage to all character dice and players. Use when rolled from prep area as 155, 166, 277. Out of the 2 classes that we've seen, I'm going to say this one's way, way better than the other one. To be able to do damage to all character dice and players is a pretty big deal. I can see that one being getting some play. And we've got another Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch, before we got Scarlet, why not just red? This one's Lady Liberator. This would be the, I believe, the uncommon one. So Scarlet Witch costs 1 less to purchase if an opponent has a fist character or action die in their prep area. So you can get her down to 2 costs, which is pretty good. Scarlet Witch does not need to be active to use that ability. So you can actually potentially get a much cheaper die out there. So for 3 costs, it's not that bad. And her stats are pretty solid. 013, 033, 155. That 033 makes this one kind of worth it. This one I could see being used in weenie decks, so that could be really interesting. So overall, we've seen 10 packs. We got 2 foils out of 10 packs. Let's see, that'd be 1, 2, I believe 3 rares out of that. We got 1 Inhuman, which is kind of cool, and we see, of course, a lot of characters with Deadpool affiliation, a lot with the X-Men affiliation, and we've got a few with the S.H.I.E.L.D. affiliation. And interesting enough, we got 2 new action die that should be probably, you know, should shake some things up. Actually, I believe we got 3 action dice, so that makes things rather interesting. Overall, set comes out in November. Should be really interesting if you're a Deadpool fan. Playing Dice Masters is one you're probably going to need to get. Of course, it's got the foils. That's going to be really popular with folks. You're going to maybe want to stock up when it comes to that. As I said, foil packs, 99 cents. Gravity Feeds, I believe, have 80 packs, so, you know, you can do the math from there. Go to your store, pre-order, get it. They've also, of course, have a card that you get for pre-ordering. Wizkids, thank you very much for the hookup. Really, really appreciate it. We're going to go and have some more insight in our site. You can go check us out at graphicpolicy.com. We're going to go through all the cards and talk a little bit about the character backgrounds and how the cards reflect those characters, as well as our general thoughts as to how the cards hold up for the game as a whole and how useful some of these are going to be. But as always, thank you so much for watching. You can catch us every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, thanks for watching, keep rolling those die, and keep it geeky.